Live from the studios at the University of Kansas, you are watching KUJHTV News.
This led to the University of Kansas canceling all classes Monday afternoon for the remainder of the day and extended it into Tuesday's classes. Kansas's Governor Laura Kelly issued a state of disaster declaration after wind chill warnings and stress on natural gas providers Sunday afternoon, according to a news release from the governor's office.
According to Lawrence Douglas County Public Health, as of Tuesday, there are 504 COVID cases active in the county. This is a rise of 17 cases since Monday, bringing Douglas County's cumulative total number of cases to just over 8,500. Lawrence Memorial Hospital currently has 10 COVID inpatients after 3 new cases arrived over the weekend. Douglas County has seen an average positivity rate of 3.7% over the last 14 days and averages just under 20 new COVID cases each day.
As COVID vaccinations continue to roll out, states have been left to administer vaccines at their own pace. Let's take a look at how Kansas's vaccination efforts compare to the rest of the country.
Thank you, Emily. Locally, we are seeing a massive increase in vaccinations all across the state and across the country. Vaccinations have been rolling out swiftly for at least over a month now, and we see a lot of differences in the way that states are handling it. Next to me, you can see a graph that compares the share of people that have received at least one dose of the vaccine all across the country. Now, you see Kansas is about midway up here. It's at 9.92%. Midway seems like it's good, but that's actually not the case because Kansas is only higher than these 5 states right here. That means there are 44 states that have given more COVID doses to their people than Kansas has. When we look at this state, however, it doesn't necessarily mean that Kansas's rollout has been extremely bad. When you look at population stats like this, you have to consider density. When you look at New York State, their rate is only a little bit higher than Kansas's. However, New York is a far more densely populated state. It has almost 3% of the entire country in just one city. So even though that population rate is a lot higher, and even though that one dose rate is a lot higher, the fact that it is so densely populated and it's only a little bit higher than Kansas's means that the rollout isn't that bad in comparison. Now, that being said, compared to the overall U.S. average, Kansas is lacking by about 2%. When we look at 2 dosages, or until at least the entire immunization and vaccination process has been completed, once again, Kansas is towards the bottom. Only Nevada, Delaware, Illinois, and Alabama have worse rates than Kansas does. Now, again, you have to keep in mind this population density. Kansas is spread out a population all across the state as opposed to other states that are more densely populated, packed into cities. The more densely populated a state is, the faster these rates are going to increase. When we look again at the U.S. average, however, Kansas is once again lacking by about 2%. We need to keep look at these numbers right here. That is a more realistic look at what it's looking like. However, when we look county to county, there is good news for our local Kansas watchers. Douglas County is about 2% total rate vaccinated. That's much better than the other most populated counties in Kansas. And we've been able to take a look at some increased vaccinations in Lawrence, Kansas. Our own Alexander Worth took a look at new COVID immunization sites in Lawrence.
For the first time since the pandemic began, Walmarts across the country, just like this one on 6th and Wakarusa, are starting to finally see doses of the vaccine roll out. Early last week, the Biden administration announced the shipment of 1 million doses of the COVID vaccine to retail pharmacies, including Walmart. There are around 20 Walmarts in Kansas that were given doses of the vaccine. Of the 2 Walmart locations in Lawrence, only the one on 6th and Wakarusa will be currently administering vaccine. These pharmacies are only allowed to give vaccines to people who currently fall under their respective states' eligibility guidelines. In Kansas, we are currently in the second phase of our vaccine rollout, which, according to the governor's website, is for people aged 65 and older, those who are high-contact critical workers, and those who work in congregate settings. Luis Foxes received the vaccine on Friday. This is what he had to say about it.
I feel like jumping right now, celebrating after a year of lockdown and anticipating this day and not expecting to be able to get so lucky to get an appointment so soon. It's really a day of rejoicing.
In the days leading up to the rollout, Walmart's website was saying that vaccines were not available in the Lawrence area. This was a mistake and has since been resolved. Now, I did go inside and I spoke to one of the pharmacists, and he said that if you can't get through on the website, just keep trying. They're aware of the issues with the website, but he says as long as you keep trying, eventually you should be able to get through and make an appointment. If not, give him a call. In West Lawrence, Alexander Worth, KUJH News.
Alexander, keep in mind that in order to receive a COVID vaccine, you must have the appropriate paperwork showing your eligibility.
On Friday, the university announced it would be handing out punishments to 5 fraternities. Members of Delta Tau Delta, Phi Delta Theta, Phi Kappa Psi, Sigma Chi, and Sigma Phi Epsilon were all given 10-day public health bans.
The announcement came after Vice Provost of Student Affairs Dr. Tamara Durham said she did not mention specific reasons behind the bans, but did say, quote, "We are aware of recent social activities hosted by students in violation of university and county health guidelines. As a result, we have issued 10-day public health bans to members of the following 5 fraternities."
It is unclear at this time if the university will hand out any other punishments to these chapters. All 5 fraternities will finish their public health bans on Monday, February 22nd. The last few days have been absolutely freezing outside, but hopefully it gets warmer soon. Haylin, what is it looking like?
It is looking good. We're fine. I got some good news. We are in our final days of this cold punch, and we are going to be seeing a slight warm up this weekend, and we will probably be seeing temperatures up into the 50s next week. So it'll be feeling like we're going to be in the Bahamas next week, but it'll be such a long-needed break from this cold weather.
Well, after that snow day, it's good to be back in classes.
It was weird not having class for the last 2 days, especially because it was honestly pretty cold out, but it was nice to be back now.
Yeah. So still to come on KUJH News, the CV Key app and its effectiveness.
And a new Nintendo game release. Stay with us.
Back. Over the course of the last semester, faculty and students at the University of Kansas have been using an app on their phones to enter buildings on campus. The app, created by a KU professor, is designed for users to keep track of their symptoms in the midst of the pandemic. Emily Johnson has more.
COVID is still a major concern among students when on campus. Luckily, I had the opportunity to talk to the CV Key app creator and a student about this app. Let's take a look. With students returning to campus this spring semester, the use of the CV Key app on campus is questionable. Some students are seen walking straight past the CV Key kiosk, while others stop to check into the building. KU junior Benton Coolidge shares if he uses the app when on campus.
I do. Normally I use it when I go to class. I only have 1 class on campus, so I only need to use it twice a week. So it's not a regular use like 5 times a week, but whenever I do come to campus, I do use it, yeah.
Using the app is really not that difficult. Once opening the app, students answer a symptom checklist. Questions include, have you tested positive for COVID-19, had any symptoms, traveled outside of the country, or were in contact with somebody who has COVID? After you fill out the symptom checklist, a QR code and image of you will come up on your screen. All you have to do is simply hold it up to the kiosk, and it will say success, and then you are able to enter into the building. With over 200 CV Key kiosks on KU's campus, app creator Brian McGlendon shares how many students have actually been using the app during the start of the spring semester.
And as we've come back in January, last week we were, in the sort of September, October usage numbers. And it's then dropped since because it's so cold that a lot of students just aren't going to class.
The main question left for KU now is, how do we encourage student use of the app on campus?
Just reminding people to scan in. Sometimes people forget, depending on where the scanner is relative to the doorway. Also, use it even if you're not coming on campus. Look at the questions, look at the travel questions, and do it every day.
With the help of the CV Key app on campus, hopefully COVID numbers can stay down.
The Douglas County Sheriff's Office responded to a call of shots fired Saturday night north of Lawrence. Upon arrival, deputies found 2 individuals with gunshot wounds and 1 individual dead. The surviving 2 individuals were transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Public Information Officer Jen Heathcote revealed that one of the individuals being treated for gunshot wounds died overnight. The 3rd individual was in stable condition as of Sunday evening. At this time, the investigation is still ongoing.
All 4 senators from Kansas and Missouri voted to acquit former President Trump on Saturday of the charge of incitement of insurrection, according to the Kansas City Star. The Senate voted to acquit Trump for both an abuse of power and an obstruction of Congress, 2 articles of impeachment. Trump's second impeachment trial ended on Saturday the 13th with a Senate vote of 57 to 43, 10 votes short of a necessary threshold to convict.
Last Friday, Nintendo released their first major game of 2021 with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. To see if the game is worth your time,
I wasn't expecting much when Nintendo announced the Switch was receiving a port of an 8-year-old Wii U game. While I enjoyed the original at the time, it lacked the freedom of other 3D Mario titles such as 64 and Sunshine. I didn't even plan on buying this deluxe port leading up to its release last Friday, but then Nintendo showed off gameplay for the side mode Bowser's Fury. Starting with 3D World, the game design is masterful. Every level introduces a new mechanic to the player through short obstacle-like courses, and while this formula doesn't allow for much exploration, it ensures players get the most enjoyment possible from each mechanic. This is what Nintendo does best. Their ability to teach players in such a natural way is what makes their games appeal to such a wide audience. Speaking of which, if you're stuck at home with your pandemic crew, the game was designed with 4-player platforming in mind. Additionally, Nintendo created an entire new mode using elements from 3D World and Super Mario Odyssey. Bowser's Fury took the obstacle-like platforming challenges present in 3D World while adding that exploration and freedom element that makes the other Mario titles so beloved. In this mode, Mario is tasked with collecting cat shines throughout the island. Each collectible can be earned through completing mini platforming challenges, defeating mini-bosses, and simply exploring the open world. Not only are the shines fun to collect, but they help unlock more areas to explore and allow the player to push back against the ever-present Fury Bowser. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is a must-buy for Nintendo Switch owners. This added mode scratches that 3D Mario itch for gamers looking for a fun collectathon in quarantine, and it's attached to a straightforward yet enjoyable port. For KUJH Tech News and Reviews, I'm Matthew Johnstone. Back to you in the studio.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the latest on entertainment.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. Let's send it over to Jordan Nicole for the latest on entertainment.
I'm Jordan Nicole, and I'm here to bring you this week's entertainment countdown. Now forget your afternoon coffee because I have the perfect amount of tea for you. So coming in at number 4, we have America's favorite family. On Valentine's Day, Kim Kardashian took to Instagram to let her 250 million followers know about her Valentine's Day launch for Skims lingerie. The Kardashian-Jenner clan broke the internet with the post. Kim, Kendall, and Kylie showed off the latest collection by the reality star. This may be Kim Kardashian's first Valentine's Day alone since 2014. However, she's letting her fans know that her sexy isn't going anywhere. So Skims isn't the only successful celebrity clothing line doing numbers. Taking the number 3 spot is the Savage Queen. Rihanna, Savage x Fenty's lingerie line is worth $1 billion as of yesterday. So members of Rihanna's fan base, the Navy, are questioning when her new album will be dropping. When asked about her album, Rihanna had this to say. You do pop, you do genre, you do that, you do radio, but now it's just like, what makes me happy, she said. I just want to have fun with music. Everything is so heavy. The world that we live in is a lot. It's overwhelming every single day. And with the music, I'm using that as my outlet. Fans are speculating the release of R9 later this year. Now, don't you just love a little rap beef? Let's talk about the number 2 spot. Now, Meek Mill is at it again, and this time he's not beefing with Drake, but Tekashi 6ix9ine. Okay. The long-standing beef between the two rappers came to a face-to-face altercation outside of an Atlanta club. The viral altercation shows both of the rappers yelling obscenities and profanity. The root of the issue stems from Meek Mill saying that 6ix9ine is an informant for the feds. Okay, talk about the tea, you guys. So the new year is already outdoing itself. Now coming in at the #1 spot is Tessica Brown. Y'all remember the girl who used Gorilla Glue to slay her edges? Well, I'm happy to announce that she's found a plastic surgeon and she's rocking a new sleek pixie cut free of adhesives. So since she has freed her scalp, Brown recently got a full-time agent. Her agent represents Lamar Odom, Black China, and Tommy Lee, and she's wasting no time making money from the Gorilla Glue frenzy. So people can purchase her merchandise online ranging from $30 to $50. Her new clothing line sells merchandise with a viral photo in a format of a cartoon. Now, before I let you go, I have to say, hit me baby one more time. The New York Times presents Framing Britney Spears, which is now streaming on Hulu. I have my favorite girl, Lauren Hugo, to give you the scoop on what KU students are saying about the film. Check this out.
The New York Times released their documentary on iconic pop star Britney Spears over a week and a half ago, and the response since then has been tremendous. The film follows Spears' rise to stardom, her battle with the tabloids and mental health, and eventually her controversial conservatorship with her father. A conservatorship means a judge in the court of law appoints an individual to manage the financial and personal affairs of the person deemed incapacitated. Spears' father, Jamie, gained what was supposed to be a temporary legal authority after Spears was admitted to a hospital on psychiatric hold. But her conservatorship turned permanent, and since then, the legitimacy of the legal binding has been questioned. Here are some reactions to the documentary Framing Britney.
I think that Britney Spears is underrated by the current generation. She is a staple, and she's been the foundation of pop music. One of the things that I find pretty alarming is the amount of times that she posts, and then she'll take it down, or people will say something and then she just won't look at the camera, or she'll be shifting her eyes. Her body language, I think, is giving away the impression to her fans especially that there is something wrong. Hashtag Free Britney.
The hashtag Free Britney movement found resurgence from a podcast episode where an anonymous lawyer claiming to be a former member of the firm working with Spears expressed concern over Britney and her life being in her father's hands. Although the film focuses on the conservatorship and circulating theories, it is important to talk about the public's response to Britney Spears' mental health at the time. Next week, we'll take a look at mental health around Lawrence. I'm Lauren Hugo, and this is Hollywood with Hugo. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Lauren. I really appreciate that look into Framing Britney Spears. You know, I have a lot of questions. I want to talk to Justin Timberlake. I want to talk to the family and just get some more answers. So thank you for watching. Let's kick it back to our anchors.
February is Black History Month, and numerous movies with Black casts have been released, like One Night in Miami, Malcolm and Marie, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But Judas and the Black Messiah showcase history in a new light.
Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party.
Judas and the Black Messiah tells the story of how the Chicago's Black Panther Party leader Fred Hampton was assassinated by the FBI. How did they get him? They had an informative in the inside. Daniel Kaluuya played the role of Fred Hampton, while Lakeith Stanfield played William O'Neill, who was the informative for the FBI. The last time audiences got to see them act together was in Jordan Peele's Get Out, but their dynamic was even more intense in Judas and the Black Messiah. The movie felt poetic. The dialogue mixed with the camera movement and the blocking worked together in a way that made every second feel impactful. But this could not have been done without the director's vision in mind. Shaka King was truly the star of the movie, keeping in mind that this was his first major studio movie working with big-time producer Ryan Coogler. King told the Sundance Institute that Hampton's wordplay helped him on his journey to create the film.
Than what he'd done while living. Then I did read Fred's words, and I was even more galvanized.
I personally loved this movie because it showed us a sliver of history that has never been covered in the classroom. Director Shaka
King blew my mind away, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for him. Judas and the Black Messiah is available for streaming on HBO Max and theaters. This is Stephanie Morales-Maceda with the close-up. When we come back, we'll have Halen with our weather update. Stay with us.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back, Jayhawks. I'm Halen. Your weather report for this. Taking a look outside with current temperatures. Right now, Lawrence is sitting at a high of 23 degrees. Ottawa also in 23 degrees, and Leavenworth, Kansas, in 21 degrees. So most of the area is sticking to the lower 20s for right now. But for us, though, for right now, current radar is not showing much. Although this was from earlier today, and we see that snow that we had this morning is moving out of our area. And we actually got a glimpse of the sunlight today, which was pretty nice to have, and it kind of warmed us up a little bit and brought us to a high of 23 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and winds from the southeast at 6 miles per hour. And for now, although I will say, we're still a little bit cold, and we are going to get a little bit more colder tonight. But for right now, we're going to be at 5 o'clock. We're going to be at 21 degrees, and then at 11 o'clock. We're going to be at 10 degrees, and it's only going to get worse. And the low for tonight is only going to be 6 degrees with a wind chill range of -1 to 4 degrees. So still a little bit early cold, but good news. We are on a good trend. We're getting back to the trend, as I mentioned earlier, to warmer temperatures, because tomorrow we're going to be sitting at a high of 23 and sunny skies. So that sun is definitely going to make things feel a little bit warmer. But for the rest of the week, though, it's looking pretty good. Right now, again, we're still in our cold blast right now between Thursday and Friday, but once we get into the weekend, with Saturday, we're going to get a high of 37 degrees, and then going into next week, we're going to even see a high of 52 degrees. It'll, like I said before, it's going to feel like the Bahamas here in Kansas, so that will be much appreciated.
Where you go to college.
So coming up in our next sports headlines from our Jayhawk and the VA, we'll look at the new, coming up next, we'll have the sports coming up next.
Yeah, I always just clap in this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part? It's the most complicated one.
It is. If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go. Clapping now.
No humps.
Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Tomorrow is just 2 people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No. Wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to
1,
do
2,
the
3,
end.
4.
It's just I don't know the head.
That's great.
It's hard by yourself.
Welcome back. The NBA season is in full swing, and several former Jayhawks are making headlines.
KUJH sports anchor Marina Seaver is here with the updates. 11 former KU basketball players on NBA rosters this season, but here are a few Jayhawks storylines to really watch. We'll start off by checking in on 76ers big man Joel Embiid, whose impressive year so far has him ranking first in the league in player efficiency. He's third in the NBA in points, averaging 29.6 per game behind only Steph Curry and Bradley Beal. He's also first on his team and 12th in the league in rebounds, averaging nearly 11 per game.
ESPN's Max Kellerman is one of several prominent sports commentators making sure Embiid's name stays in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. Take a listen to what he had to say on First Take last week.
I think of every player in the league, the guy who steps on the floor and affects the other team's offense the most is Joel Embiid. I also think he's been the best offensive player in the game so far. His team is also in first place, and he has a recent win against LeBron and the Lakers and against Durant and KD and the Nets. He's the MVP.
All right, well, he said it, not me, the MVP at this moment. Embiid's season will continue when the 76ers take on the Rockets tonight. Another former Jayhawk, rookie Jazz center Udoka Azubuike, will be out indefinitely due to a severe right ankle sprain sustained during a G League game last week. Doak attempted a short hook shot and landed awkwardly on his right ankle, the same ankle he injured in 2018 at KU. He was taken off the court in a stretcher, but the Jazz have not yet released an official recovery timeline. This injury could spell additional trouble for the Jazz if their other centers, Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors, miss time while Doak is healing. Before his injury that game, though, Doak had racked up 8 points, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and 11 rebounds in just 28 minutes. Doak's recovery is certainly a story KUJH will be following closely and continuing to provide updates on as they come. Former Kansas football player and defensive coordinator Clint Bowen will be the new head coach of Lawrence High School's football program. We'll go now to Jenna Wilson, who got the opportunity to talk to Bowen about his new position at Lawrence High.
Clint Bowen is a familiar name to the city of Lawrence. The former KU football assistant coach and player will be making a return to Lawrence after serving as the defensive coordinator for North Texas.
Lawrence High School is where it all began for Coach Bowen.
Upon graduating in 1990, he went on to play as defensive back for the Jayhawks, with 114 tackles during his second season. With an extensive experience at the college level, Coach Bowen says that he is preparing for that transition to working with high school level athletes.
I would like to think I'm not going to have to tone it down a little bit, but probably going to have to tone it down. You know, they're younger kids and not, I'm used to coaching guys who are probably, between 18 and, 24 years old. I'm going to have to learn to be a little bit more patient with the skill level and the development of some kids, but I'm looking forward to that,
Lawrence High School is known for winning many state championships. Bowen says that his goal is to lead the team to many more. Looking beyond his valuable credentials, Bowen also aims to make a more personal impact for the remainder of his coaching career.
It just kind of hit me one day, especially with a lot of things going on, like what's going to be your legacy? What am I really doing? And so it hit me that going back to my high school, going back to the community that I grew up in, that I just felt like I could have a great opportunity to impact more lives.
Coach Bowen will start his career at the high school in fall of 2021. In Lawrence, Kansas, with KUJH News, Jenna Wilson.
Thanks, Jenna. I'm sure the Lions are all very eager to see where their new head coach can take them. Still to come on KUJH News, we'll give you a look at the world's largest snow maze. We'll be right back.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
In other news, let's take a look at the world's largest snow maze located in Canada.
It took over 6 weeks, 150 semi-trucks of snow, and 12 people working full-time to complete this maze.
Clint Mass created the maze and now holds the Guinness World Record for the largest snow maze.
The maze has already attracted about 1,000 visitors a day. I mean, that snow day would have made for so much fun with this maze.
I wish we could have just driven up to Canada and saw it for ourselves.
That is KUJH News for February 17th.
To view our stories again or to share them with your friends, visit our website at tv.ku.edu and check us out next Wednesday at 4 p.m. for the latest news, weather, and sports.
Thanks for joining us and have a great evening.
You are watching KUJH TV News.